Hi kids, today we are going to be making our project with watercolors called Happy Cactus. For this project, you are going to need your watercolor palette, a large paintbrush, small one Sharpie, pencil, also your palette, and some salt, and fresh clean water. Our first step is to flip your watercolor paper over, write your name on the back, make sure to use a pencil, and flip it back over. You're going to start with the body of your cactus, add some arms, and a line for your ground. Once you have gotten here, we will be tracing it with Sharpie. The barrel, arm, and arm. Now do your line. Add a sun. And your paper should look like this. After your cactus looks like this, we will be adding 3 lines. Make sure to make not straight lines. You want curved lines. 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to do the same thing with your arms. Remember, only 3 curved lines. And the other side. And it should look like this now. Okay, now you can add a smiley face to your cactus. And from here, if you want some flowers, you can add here. Older grades, if you feel like you want to add anything into the background at this time, you can draw maybe some mountains or a smaller cactus on the side. We're going to take our small paintbrush, our watercolors, and our mixing tray. For this, we are going to be learning how to do different shades of green. For our first row on our arms and the body of our cactus and the first row of our right arm, we're going to be mixing a light green. You're going to take your lightest green, mix it over here, and mix with some white. Once you have a light green, you will start painting row 1 on both sides and the first one on the right hand side. Now that we have our light green done, we're going to take just the lightest green in the watercolors, and you're going to do your second row on your arm. If it's not dark enough, you can always add a little bit of darker green. We're going to take our dark green in our watercolor palette, put it on our little mixing tray, add some white, to your third row. Once you have this done, we're going to make our last lines our darkest green, which we will get just straight out of the palette, the watercolors. And from here, if you choose to do a flower, you would paint your flower now. Once you are here and we're going to start doing our wet on wet technique for the background, you need to raise your hand and one of the volunteers will come bring you a clean cup of water. Once you have your clean cup of water, you'll take your big brush, dump it into your water, and just paint your paper with the water. Don't do the ground, only do above where the dirt's going to go. When you have half of it painted with water, you'll move back to your small brush and just dot your paper while it's wet. Get any kind of colors that you want. Once you have your background, you're going to take a little bit of salt, sprinkle it onto the wet water. Now that we have half of it done, it's time to do the other half. While it's still wet, take your salt. You don't need a lot of salt, just a tiny pinch. Once we have our background done, we're going to paint either our sun. I'm going to make mine a moon, be a sun or a moon. And our last and final step is going to be to paint our dirt. So for this, we're going to be using the brown. With the big brush. And we have completed our Happy Cactus project.